Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to Squared Circle Society Live. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by Producer Todd.
Good evening.
Producer Todd, we've been watching a lot of wrestling this past week.
Yeah.
An insane amount of wrestling, actually. I think if I added up the hours, it would be pretty insane. Tonight, of course, we're coming off of one of the hottest Raws in a very long time, from in-ring to promos, building stories. It was a pretty amazing Raw. We'll kick things off with the WWE portion of the show tonight, but we're also going to talk, believe it or not, GCW, TNA, lots of different stuff going, some random ass wrestling matches that we'll also talk about.
Okay, I didn't confirm if you watched. I was actually just asking you that in the chat.
I did.
Okay.
What a wild world we live in, that when we got the modern day Maharaja taking on the ultra violent beast Masada. But that was the kind of week this was. Freaking iguanas, man, like taking over the wrestling world. We've had major events, actually. I'm eager to talk wrestling. I think you'll notice a little more pep tonight. SCS isn't a chore even for Todd, and that is saying something.
I don't. Your mood's making it a chore, Dan. Take it down a notch.
I'm positive Dan tonight, Todd. I'm positive Dan.
Yeah, I like to kick positive Dan down a peg, so I'll try not to.
We got to bring Bob back, and then you'll be positive.
I talked to Bob the other day, actually.
Well, there you go. Where the hell's Bob?
Winning awards from Six Flags.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations, Bob. Anybody that's like listened for the last how long has it been for Bob? I guess it's been like 7 years or something.
I don't think he's ever appeared on video.
No, he never did appear on video. But there's like 2 or 3 people listening that remember Bob and love Bob. So we love Bob. But yeah, so I guess we'll kick it off tonight with I guess we got to go Worlds Collide.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
Now, I know, Todd, that you're not Lucha Libre, not your genre of wrestling. You're not that big into it. But nonetheless, what did you think just in general? Because I thought the show came off really, really well. And Lucha doesn't always translate, in its purest form to, American wrestling audiences. What did you think?
Yeah, I like the first match felt very lucha, which is okay. I mean, it is a lucha show, but I think they kind of the rest, like it. I mean, yeah, I like the show overall. I mean, it worked. It was. I don't want to say it wasn't too lucha for me, but I mean, that first match was heavy lucha. But no, it was a good show. I mean, it's not something I'd watch regularly, like just lucha, but the mix and Gable. The Gable match was awesome. Yeah, no, it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, a couple like interesting notes for me. I don't think Conan should be on commentary for the long haul. He could bring his energy up a little bit more. That's a kind of a criticism I've had.
They need to treat him like Jesse. Jesse couldn't do a whole show, and at this point, I was sad a little watching Conan getting helped up during the Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's looking a little frail these days. But you know what?
Now. It sucks, but
he's old. We're all getting old. But overall, man, I don't have a lot of complaints. I thought the crowd was awesome. You had Lady Trump there, like just stone-faced as always. Mr. Iguana. Now, I know it's weird with Lucha Libre because I do believe you were a fan of Lucha Underground, more or less.
Yeah. I had personal beef because there was a whole underground in LA thing, and that was UEW. So there was some beef there. So I had some resentment, but overall I enjoyed quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I think like characters like that do work in Lucha Libre, where Lucha Underground, we had people competing for magic amulets and all of these different things. I think it kind of works here. I'll take Mr. Iguana over.
But they didn't have Lucha Underground didn't have any Mr. Iguana type characters though. They may have been competing for magical stuff, but they did that. No, that's it. Lucha Underground wasn't traditional lucha in any sense. There was luchadors there, but yeah, it was different. Yeah, it was filmed like a movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think these characters kind of work for me, and there is a whole lore there. If you aren't familiar with Lucha Libre, a little bit different. And yeah, good to see Lince Dorado back. I'm assuming he'll be a regular part of the company. I'm kind of curious to see AAA list like their updated roster going forward, who's going to be regular. And I'm like you, look, there's a lot of wrestling. Can I say I'm going to watch AAA every week or whatever? Probably not, but I was still like impressed enough that I'm going to tune in every once in a while, see what they've got going on. And the AAA versus CMLL fight is going to be interesting to see who's going to run Mexican wrestling going forward. Yeah, I don't think we'll go like just all results, but we're going to talk in general. But yeah, Mr. Iguana, Aerostar, Octagon Jr., great action. It also reminded me just how good Dragon Lee is. He hasn't really been able to fully show that in WWE. JG, I assume Alberto Del Rio is bye. Interesting question. I feel like maybe not. I don't think that the Mexican fans give a shit. Like, I don't think they care about any baggage that Del Rio has. I know that's Conan's take on that situation too.
Mexicans don't cancel people. That's the difference.
Yeah, he hasn't been convicted of anything. So fair being fair, he's not been convicted.
So they're old school. So he's been convicted of nothing. Then yeah,
I feel like a lot of that comes down. Are they going to bring Paige back for anything?
Well, I get it. They don't want him as champion on that show.
Yeah, I would steal the narrative. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to hurt him at all in Mexico, but they're not going to have him champion if they're doing some big combo shows.
Yeah, they might have to just make him like, look, you'll be on the shows in Mexico. It might kind of hurt his chances to be like the top dog because, again, if you can't go somewhere, although that'll be a segue to somebody who kind of going back on some claims later tonight. But yeah, I thought this was great. I mean, Dominic setting up the Intercontinental title match for the pay-per-view with Octagon Jr., which, again, they seem to be pushing AAA hard. There's been heavy promotion on Raw and SmackDown. Mr. Iguana got a freaking package tonight, which is awesome. And I think they did a good job just running down the history of AAA. In terms of production, I really don't have any complaints about this show. We also saw Delise and Chick Tormenta taking on Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice. Delise, I believe, is 50 years old, so she's I guess R-Truth kind of ruined that for her. I was going to say probably one of the older active wrestlers in the company right now. What more to say about this? Stephanie Vaquer is a goddamn star. Like, holy shit, she's going to probably main event to WrestleMania. And I think it makes sense showcasing her here. I know a lot of people were kind of complaining that you had the non-AAA people going over. But there's really no way you could have Becer lose here right now. And WWE's got that card to play. I mean, they can throw in a Rey Mysterio main event for AAA. They can do all kinds of stuff. And I know CMLL is sort of advertising themselves as pure lucha libre, and that's kind of their strategy. But it's going to be an interesting war between those companies. And I don't know. I wouldn't bet against AAA with the backing that they have, as long as they don't radically change the spirit of that style of wrestling, which, again, it doesn't always translate to America and the American TV. But that was great. We also saw El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. I know Kruger is very familiar with Pagano, so cool seeing him on WWE TV.
Yeah, it's funny because you could just see him in like death matches like the week before. I mean, he's a guy. It's like surprising to see him on TV with all of his death match stuff, like still actively doing.
Yeah, it's always surreal in general when you see, somebody that we're very familiar with from indie shows just pop up in such a big spot like that. And Legado del Fantasma, I think Santos Escobar has been very just great on WWE TV, but it does feel like he's just kind of hit that ceiling where he hasn't had much upward momentum. I look at him as somebody that maybe the best move is let him be a main event heel in AAA. You can still have some crossover, but he strikes me as a great choice to put that title on at some point, because he's also fluent in English, so he could tell stories on Raw, SmackDown, whatever, but also be one hell of a heel in AAA. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great shit coming from him. I got to ask you, who's Foo's Gone Wild at ringside? That Jason looking dude. Like
he's an Instagram guy, does funny Mexican shit, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna have to sub to Foo's Gone Wild, I guess. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was all surprised when I saw him. He's like, he's Instagram guy, does like funny Mexican shit. Man, I don't know if it's gonna translate to you, Dan, but it's very LA.
Well, I think we're gonna see him probably,
but he does have some good torta songs, so maybe you will enjoy it.
Okay, there you go.
There's a lot of torta talk.
Talking tortas with Foo's Gone Wild. And Chavo Guerrero, always great to see Chavo. And yeah, this was another great match. I was glad to see Santos picking up the win. He is probably my choice to be that top heel. I think he makes a whole lot of sense. Also a great guy. I've gotten to meet him a couple times way back and always seemed just like a really nice, friendly guy. What else do we have on this show? The Fatal 4-Way NXT North American title match. Now this, I've been a fan of Ethan Page for a while. Wasn't necessarily expecting him on a AAA show. I kind of really feel a call up for him soon because it's all there. He's going to translate well to TV. But lots of great action in this. Javon Evans, of course, Laredo Kid, who has roots in AAA, but also TNA, and Ray Phoenix, who is fantastic as always. And yeah, this match was wild. Of course, Ethan Page picking up the win with the twisted grin, which brings us to what I think we're going to talk about most, the AAA Mega Championship, defended by El Hijo del Vikingo taking on Chad Gable. I kind of knew that Chad wasn't getting the belt because he wasn't doing the El Grande Americano gimmick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I think yes, El Grande Americano should have wrestled him instead.
There was a comment, I can't remember, again, Sea of Wrestling this week, but there was a comment from, I believe it was Wade Barrett, where it's like, they're not the same. They have different nipples. It's a comment. And I love, dude, Chad Gable. The fact that he hasn't had a major singles title is a fucking crime. I mean,
yet
he's gonna get it in 2025. I feel like I think he's undeniable at this point. It might be that AAA title. Maybe not him. Maybe his good buddy El Grande. But
I wanted him to win Money in the Bank. I was not quiet about that.
I did too, but I was like, man, I don't know if they'll go that far to let it be a cash in for the AAA title.
That would have been awesome. But we'll get to
I like it. I do like it because, I mean, again, we've talked kind of off air a lot about Money in the Bank kind of being that issue as its own pay-per-view, especially where it's like, man, we're not really set up to do this right now. Failed cash-ins are kind of tough because it does feel like a lot of waste of time, and there hasn't been a good failed cash-in in a while. Yeah. So it's a tough thing. It kind of just, it forces you into a corner in terms of booking at times, doing it every year. But I was pretty happy with where we went with that. And I would have been cool with the AAA title being cashed in on, because if you're acquiring all these companies, why not? Why not? I mean, hell, you could have maybe have AJ cash in to go for that TNA title one last time.
Well, they don't really own them, so that isn't really the same, but
I feel like that's coming. I think we'll talk about that tonight. I get that vibe, but this match, obviously Vikingo does shit that just defies gravity. They both beat the living shit out of each other. That moonsault through the ladder to the outside. I mean, Gable was not working like a guy who was going to have to go on and compete in a multi-man ladder match later on in the night. Like, give this guy all the titles. I mean, he was in here hitting like reverse Mike Awesome style power bombs off the top turnbuckle. There was just so many crazy things to even recount it all in this match. Of course, Vikingo picking up the win, and I was a fan of this. Vikingo, you know, at times, like, it's just like he's constantly almost dying. So, you know, he's one of those guys, I just don't know how long he can go with that style, but I'm loving the hell out of it right now. Yeah, so overall, I'd say a pretty kick-ass show. Am I going to watch AAA every week? I don't know about that, but I'm all in for these special events, and I'm curious to see where we go. I mean, do we get a Vampiro appearance? Which would be a first for under the WWE banner. Will we get, you know, there's so many different things. I'm just kind of curious to see if they do. And yeah, what do you want to see going forward, Tad?
I'm not going to watch it regularly, so I don't have that vested interest.
Well, there you go. Todd is.
I mean, I'm honest. I'm not. I'll watch the big shows. That's about it.
Okay. Well, hey,
I don't have time.
I think you're going to see a lot of crossover, anyways, and I agree. Like I said, there's a lot of good wrestling guy.
So I'm not going to act like I'm going to start watching it. I'm not.
But so far, I'd say I don't think they're going to turn it into WWE. Hopefully, that
doesn't seem like
what they need to be doing. So, all right, which brings us to Money in the Bank. So Money in the Bank. I thought the women's ladder match sucked. If I'm being honest, I thought there was a lot of awkward spots. Like, they were setting stuff up, and the timing just wasn't there. Bad timing and just not a very good match. I'm happy with the result because I think Naomi's been nailing this new character, but not a great match. Actually, might be one of the top 2 or 3 worst Money in the Bank ladder matches. Did you feel that? Am I being
No, it was there was nothing spectacular about it. I was just like, all right, let's get to the men's.
Yeah, which normally, I mean, the women have slayed some of the ladder matches, and I was really surprised with who was involved. I mean, I think Stephanie looked good. I've seen everybody posting that head hump move that she was doing on the ladder and everything. But just the match itself, I thought was really clunky and not even necessarily botchy. It just like there was just a lot of setup sometimes for nothing. We take forever setting up a spot where somebody just falls and, throws themselves on the rope. It wasn't a very good ladder match, but I'm happy with the result. Naomi, I think, deserves it. Talk about somebody that goes away from the company, bets on herself, has the big TNA run, and comes back as a better overall, well-rounded character and wrestler. And I'm happy for her. We also get spillover from Worlds Collide, which is great. Dominic taking on Octagon Jr. That was a fun match. Of course, yeah. I mean, we all knew where that one was going. That's another interesting question. Rey Mysterio being in his 50s now and, certainly having a lot of injuries. Who might emerge as the next Rey Mysterio at this point? I mean, obviously Penta's killing it, but Penta's 39, I believe. So he's not a young man. And I kind of wonder now who we might set up as this big crossover star to replace Mysterio, because I don't think we really have that
Mr. Iguana.
Could be Mr. Iguana, man. I was half expecting them to throw together a match just to showcase him tonight, but he got a package. They know that there's money in Mr. Iguana.
Yeah.
When are we going to get Mr. Iguana and Joe Hendry going for the tag titles? That's what I want to know. Because that's happening. That is 100% happening. But yeah, no, that fun match. I think Dominic's been killing it lately. He's improved a lot in the ring. I know a lot of people bitch about that. It's never going to be Eddie Guerrero, but goddamn, he's good and he's holding his momentum. What else do we have here? Not a Todd favorite, either of these ladies, but Lyra Valkyria taking on Becky Lynch.
I don't dislike Lyra Valkyria. I just am not in love with her. Yeah, I make fun of her. She looks like when It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, dressed up for wrestling, and they became the Eagle Men. She looks exactly like him, and I can't take her seriously.
People cheer for her. They do the chant. I think Lyra's great. I kind of knew Becky was getting the belt here. I didn't see her losing twice. And obviously, they set up that Bayley thing a long time ago, which on Raw, of course, no surprises there. But I thought this was a great match. Lyra can go, and I think eventually she'll probably get this belt back. Which brings us to the men's ladder match, which kind of like a somewhat slow start at first.
Yeah, we were all having the discussion, like in the point where like it's kind of just like not a lot's happening.
Yeah. This pay-per-view is a little like hit or miss.
And then they just like turned it up and and then it changed.
Loose. Yeah. Yeah, the run-ins. Jacob fought too. I was disappointed that he wasn't in the match. I understand obviously now why they didn't, but we got the Solo I hate you moment, which had me popping. I'm glad they didn't milk this forever, which sometimes they do, and sometimes that does pay off. I mean, how many times did we think, I think Bloodline's run its course, but then they turn it up and get you engaged again. But I'm very happy to see this actually kick off now into a feud, and lots of questions there. I mean, there's so many of the Samoan guys under contract at this point, and we could have like a faction war with Solo's group, whoever maybe aligns with Fatu. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting, and I'm kind of curious to see where we go. I mean, you've got, I mean, fuck, we got Zilla out there. We've got Lance. There's just so much that you could potentially do with this. And Jacob Fatu is fucking money. There's just no doubt about it. That guy, he's always had it in ring, but he's really showing his character now. And I look forward to this. I think it'll be a big match for SummerSlam, probably. I think it'll be one of the featured matches.
Yeah, he's so Bay Area. It's a different flavor that the rest of the world isn't used to. And that just makes him so different from even, the other, Samoans in the group. It just makes him so, he's very Bay Area.
He is. And he's just got that it factor. I could see even a title on him, a major, well, the US title's a major title, but you know what I mean? A world title has to be in his future.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be long. I wonder if it's going to hurt him a little bit with the legal issues that he has had. I hope not, but because, travel sometimes can be a problem. Can he go to Saudi Arabia? Can he, go to Paris? I mean, we've got a lot of big stadium shows coming up. That's the only thing that I do worry a little bit going forward for him. But yeah, I thought this match was awesome. I think it set up all sorts of great storylines that I'm curious to see where we go. And Seth getting the win, kind of somewhat predictable. He felt like the only person that really should win it at this point. It's hard not to see a title on him in the future, but in the near future. I thought we might get a cash in tonight, the fact that they had that tag match at the end. Because I was like, all right.
By tonight, he means on Saturday.
On Saturday, yes. Lots of wrestling. I don't know where I'm at.
Well, I just don't want to get confusing there, because I think you also thought that tonight, too. So
that's true. I wasn't too sure. I was like, are we just main eventing here because it's John Cena and he's going to main event everything in his final dates? But I was like, fuck, I feel like there's going to be a cash in. I thought it was going to be
something was going to happen. They had there was a reason it closed, and we found out what it was.
Yes. And R-Truth coming back, that pop. If you looked at the live chats for Worlds Collide during the week, it was all like, bring back R-Truth, bring back R-Truth. I mean, they were flooding that insane. Now they're saying, and I haven't had a chance to look at a ton of wrestling news this week because I've just been watching wrestling. They say it wasn't a work, that this was just we fucked up, let's get him back.
That's what it seems like. And I mean, like, from reliable sources, I've heard that. And if it was a plan and they're still working because they don't want to get shit from the talents like Carlito, who actually got released, my gut says they did, and then realized they effed up and decided to send him out the right way, which they should have done in the first place. And we'll get to tonight's portion of it in a bit, but
it is still very questionable to feature him in a main event versus John Cena, Saturday night's main event, and then just let him go. Now, I realize, like, he's had a storied history with the company, and maybe
The
that's
accounts,
Triple H giving him something big on the way out.
the
But
the accounts were that was a Cena request in hopes to save his job.
oh, okay. You're
That
more up to date than me then.
I was reading some stuff, but that one I don't know 100%. Like, that's one of the theories that he requested that, and they still didn't think it was enough. I'm sure he was paid a lot because he's been there so long, but his position on the card, like basically just doing skits here and there, I get that,
Do you want a bigger 7-figure deal when you're just kind of used for comedy? Makes sense. I mean, there are certainly other people where that makes sense, where they've overpaid in the wake of AEW, and they're trying to bring some of those deals back down to reality. But yeah, I mean, we know what happened here. Obviously, Cody and Jay picking up the win. We'll segue into Raw though, and just kind of stay on the R-Truth point, because we'll jump around. So he cuts a promo tonight and said, "Fuck them dreads." He just, one of the best promos of the year.
That was Ron the Truth Killings. That was OG Suntan Superman pissed off TNA fucking NWA champion R-Truth. I was fucking popping the whole fucking time.
I figured you were, because I wasn't too sure how they were going to present him after that, because again, comedy R-Truth is great, but it feels like they're positioning him for like a big run.
Yeah.
Now, like at 53 years old, like we're gonna see Ron Killings really go for it. And he's not somebody that I think has lost like a huge step in the ring or anything. Like, he can still do all of his shit. But the way he cut that promo, I'm like, well, fuck, are we gonna see a Ron Killings title run? I don't know where we go with this character. But it was great. I mean, it would have only been better if he just said, "My name is K. Malik Shabazz." Now that, and then he just rips off his shirt as the XP.
Yeah, we were getting K. Malik Shabazz. But I'll take Ron the Truth Killings all day, every day.
Yeah. Again, no, who's he gonna feud with? Where's this gonna go?
He even closed this promo old school TNA, Ron Killings. I'm the truth. I was popping left and right. Like,
it was great. You felt electricity on Raw tonight, and that doesn't happen often. I really was like, well, fuck. I don't know where we're going with this character now. Is he done with Cena? I mean, you would think not. I mean, you would think he'd still kind of factor into some of those stories going forward. But definitely one of the promos of the year. It could end up being the promo of the year.
If we weren't recording right after tonight, I would have watched it again. I'll probably watch it in. Like, I got that TNA released like not too long ago. The best of Ron Killings in a timeline format, like 2 hours. Yeah, I think I need to go. I think I'm gonna probably watch that tonight. Just get all that good shit, getting ready for this run. I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well. It just, he's somebody who's had an interesting history in wrestling, because you got K-Quick, and I really thought he had a shit ton of potential from the first point seeing him. Gets released. You got the XPW run. He factors into the early days of TNA.
You skipped K Crush, but that's okay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, K Crush. Early developmental. I mean, who would have thought in 2025 he would still be at the top of wrestling? I think that's
the thing, and I don't think you would say that 6 months ago. He wasn't at the top. He was still in the top promotion, but I feel like we're going to get that one top tier run on the way out, because I don't think they signed him for long, and I think there's a plan now to use him effectively. I think he was a genius requesting his name be used from now on, because when he's done, he'll be worth, he's establishing Ron Killings as his name. So when he's Ron Killings in TNA, or he goes to AEW, or he shows up in indie shows, he's Ron Killings, the last name he was on WWE television.
Oh, I don't know what they're paying him, but that dude could have made bank on the indies. He was going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to be bigger.
And he's still well, even if they signed him for an extra year to do this like farewell run, without saying it like they're doing Cena, but hey,
until he loses it in ring, use the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a version of him that you've never really truly seen in WWE, and use the guy. If he can still go at 56, 57, use him. I mean, there are some people that are still able to do that, and
you have to look at his schedule the last 5 years. It's not like he's been putting on fucking 20-minute 5-star matches. I mean, he's been doing TV it's not like the house show schedule's what it was either. Like he hasn't been putting the miles on his body, and AJ Styles or some of the other guys that are older still going hard. I mean, AJ's not close to 50, but he's 40 something.
He's like 49. He's very close.
Is he that close? Okay.
Yeah. Remember, AJ Styles was in WCW.
No, I remember. I just thought he was still a little. Yeah.
He's either 48 or 49, but yeah, he's.
But I mean, his body, and he knows he's towards the end. But
well, AJ should definitely tell that story in TNA, him going for that belt one last time. Use these guys to elevate these companies, and again, I'm assuming things here with TNA, but I do feel
48.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. That makes sense. He's a year younger than me. Well, he's older than me right now. Well, we're the same age right now.
You know what? Ron Killings AJ would be fun. I don't know how you get there, but that would be a lot of fun. So what else do we have tonight? So
that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. But what else?
There's a lot. There was
a lot of stuff that happened. Yeah, we started with the segment with Cena and Punk.
Finally sucking that blood money covered D, Tad. I felt like, without actually saying it, Cena with that pause, it's like, you're gonna have to come to Saudi Arabia. I was like, oh, like, is he going there? You really wanted to get people talking. He's like, you're gonna have to suck that blood money covered D. If you had Cena just go out and say it, that would have been awesome. But yeah, great. We weren't even at the Ron Killings promo yet. I thought CM Punk was great there. I mean, he always gets you emotionally involved. For the people that don't like him, I mean, you're always into what CM Punk is doing. It always feels like a big story and a big fight feel, and that's why he's as popular as he is, and it never died down, even going away 8 years.
Even with the shitty MMA career.
Obviously, I think doing this in Saudi Arabia, this is going to be another win for Cena. I do feel, I mean, at least early on, Punk is probably positioned for Hero's Journey into WrestleMania next year. And I don't know if that's going to be Seth, if that's going to be maybe a heel turn with Cody somehow. But it does feel that way, because I don't think he's
maybe it's the new champion tonight. Spoiler.
Huh? Oh, yes. I do want to see that for sure. So after that great promo, we get AJ taking on Gable, as you'd expect. Great match. An awesome women's 4-way. Now, the women were off at Money in the Bank, but goddamn, you should watch the 4-way qualifier for the Queen of the Ring, because tells stories. We continue the tension with Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan, which I'm really enjoying that. And Roxanne, of course, picking up the win here. Who knows? I mean, she could win the whole thing. worth going out of your way. That's why I said like tonight really felt like a pay-per-view, because they were just firing on all cylinders as far as promos in ring. After that, of course, we do get the Killings promo. We get an equally awesome men's four-way with Sami Zayn winning, and he might be my pick to win the whole thing, because I think Sammy and probably Gunther, because they did say you're brand's champion. I think that would be
Do you
great.
think Sammy's going to win King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia?
That would make sense. Yeah, because I guess in Saudi, that's just the final match for the men and the women.
I just don't know how the crowd reacts.
They cheered the hell out of him before. I know people were,
remember.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, racism. I mean, Saudi Arabia is kind of known for that, but he did get cheered when he appeared there. So I think that's entirely possible. Chris C would like Sammy to win. That's a hero's journey. Yes. I mean, I've said on the show, like, I get why Jey Uso is pushed so hard. Kids love him. He's not, now again, as 39-year-old Dan, he's not as interesting to me in that world title spot. Sami Zayn would be, and I think they put a lot into him. People were ready for him to potentially take it off Roman. Whether he gets that at SummerSlam, I mean, don't forget SummerSlam is 2 nights, so they're going to have to really book the shit out of that show. That's a possibility, and that would be interesting. You could hold off for WrestleMania, and that would be hot too. But I do feel if not 2025, 2026, it is time to give Sammy a run with that belt. And I think we'll get it. So we also get
not a fan, but
I know you don't like him, and he's just an awesome baby face, great heel.
He can go to AAA's El Generico. I like him better.
I am all for at least a one-off or a one story to be told with El Generico and AAA. That would be great.
But
maybe
Tornado? No, maybe not.
Oh God, Tornado would rock. Now that would get your ass watching AAA every week. If you get Human Tornado.
He the only black guy in Nacho Libre.
Human Tornado and El Schlacko, and Todd is a AAA mark all of a sudden.
Well, I'll just say this now since we're doing. Look out this week on the UEW YouTube. I'm going to release the first ever Human Tornado death match. Take that, 7. They got a death match with them this weekend. We've already had a death match with them, so I'm going to release it to the public.
Yeah, you suck a blood money covered D7. Todd with the dick drop. It's like first death match for Human Tornado, my ass.
Goddamn right. Just because it hasn't been released, but I'll talk some other stuff that I'll be popping out later.
So Todd, Nikki Bella having to pay that alimony. She's back.
She only has to pay the alimony when he has the kid. They have a weird deal where he has the kid for 6 months and she has the kid for 6 months. So she only pays the alimony, or it's not even alimony, it's child support. She only pays the child support when he has the kid.
So what I had heard, like, it was a one-time like big payment, like he got a few $100,000 or something.
Or maybe that was the alimony portion, but I know the child support is only. They have a weird deal where it's like 6 months and each have the kids 6 months.
I've never heard of a deal like that.
I haven't either. I was reading about it because I was curious why he was getting so much, but it's only when he has the kid though, at least. So.
Well, it kind of shows she probably hasn't been watching WWE much because she couldn't say Stephanie Vaquer's name. But she talks Evolution. I'm not a Nikki Bella fan. I never was, but I will say this: the Bellas are really popular. My niece.
And in Arizona, shit.
Yeah, I mean, they have their fan base. I mean, I can't deny that. I don't give a shit about another Nikki Bella run, but there are people that do. My nieces basically stopped watching wrestling, but they were still watching all the Total Divas and then the Bella shit. They have their fans. I think, yeah, actually, one of my nieces texted me that she was back tonight.
You're like, I know. She still sucks. Thanks. No.
If you use her the right way.
I saw that too. There was a grown woman crying in the crowd. LOL. But it's Arizona. They're hometown girls too. You have to remember that also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that too. I was like, okay. I guess that's their Hogan. I don't know. Well, maybe not ever. Maybe Hogan's a bad one now. Maybe that's their Austin. I'll go with that.
There is that rumor of them like shitting in a hot tub with Johnny.
Dan's got to keep it classy.
Well, it's a story out there. It's like I just wonder. Back then, Vince, it's like my kind of girls, pal.
Well, now you know why they kept their jocks so long. I've long said if they weren't twins, they wouldn't be as hot because I don't think they're that hot. And now there's just one of them. Like, she's at least aged gracefully. She doesn't. Yeah. She doesn't look like a lot of. Yeah. So Natalia should take notes.
I'm kind of like just indifferent with this. I mean, if you use her the right way, I mean, don't waste her in a world title.
Just have a wrestle Lita fucking Evolution, and it doesn't matter.
Well, it looks like you got Liv Morgan, and unless they bring in Brie too, I don't know. Kind of get a vibe she's just kind of done. But
your husband worked for the other company anyway.
He does, although I don't think that would stop them from bringing.
Oh, I don't think it would either. But I mean, I mean, if he was working there, maybe I don't know. I don't think she cares.
Yeah, the segment was good. Again,
segment was fun.
I don't have to be into everybody.
Yeah.
So we go to the main event, which I was wrong as far as a cash-in or Goldberg. I thought it was going to be one or the other.
Oh God, thank God you didn't say Goldberg. I would have been like annoyed the whole match. I watched it on international Netflix, so I didn't have to watch all the commercial breaks. I got to watch the whole match.
Nice. No, I thought so because I mean the rumor is Saturday night's main event next month. It's in Atlanta.
But didn't he just injure himself training? Dumbass.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, Dan, you really have been out of it. Yeah, he injured himself training.
Is it a serious injury? Because I mean,
I just channeled my Bret Hart, laughed, and moved along.
I'm telling you, it is. You're gonna have to overbook the shit out of Goldberg's last match. If Bret doesn't come in at one point and just try and hit him with Nux or something,
he might go to Tommy Dreamer. He may not want to bring out.
he just hits him in the face with the bat.
Yeah, minus the hit part, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we get a great match and a clean finish with Gunther winning.
I know. I was like, wait, what? I was excited. I wasn't sure that was happening.
And I was like sitting there waiting. We see the credits and no Goldberg.
Thank God. Thank God.
You're gonna get it. And you know what? As long as the bastard actually puts over Gunther, and I'm just assuming that's the match since they kind of already had set it up. I'm fine with it. Saturday night's main event. Is that going to be in
Saudi too?
I don't think so. He said the South, like he wants to go out.
Georgia.
Yeah, Atlanta makes more sense, and if you look at the calendar, but maybe they'll hold off for SummerSlam. I don't know. Maybe they'll just say screw it. Again, 2 nights. You're gonna have to really.
Well, hopefully his injury wasn't too bad. I really don't mean that, but I'm just saying it.
Well, you got to see it only. You only got to see it one last time. So, Chewy Oldberg shouldn't be able to wrestle anymore. Better have some good insurance. Well, again, one last time. I'm fine with it. So, JG, he did bring up Israel at one point, but he said he's retiring this year, and there's nothing on the schedule where it's going to happen in Israel. So Yeah, I mean, I think that would be very difficult to pull off at the moment. Anyways, there's a lot going on in that
Yeah.
neck of the woods.
Hey,
So
they managed to pull off Money in the Bank and the AAA show during all the shit going down in the middle of LA too. So
that is true. I was gonna say, like, lots going on. That had to suck, like, going to the arena. It's like, fuck, like, we could get trapped here. There's all this crazy shit going on. But hey, glad everybody's safe and sound.
the
But
arena wasn't half empty, so it was good.
I was starting to wonder about that because, yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go tonight. But yeah, a really good match. And I think you're better having that belt back on Gunther. He needed to get back on track. And booking him is really simple, like really kind of just keep him on a path that he was on. Him retiring Goldberg, I think, is great. You're going to do that match. And it's going to be what it's going to be. Hopefully he can drag him to a decent, hopefully 10-minute match and let that
First
be it.
ever one-on-one elimination chamber match.
I don't think you're going to get that one. I don't think they're going to tell that story.
Damn it. They could oh, instead of no holds barred the match, the movie, the day that never mind.
It's just going to be Goldberg. My parents and your parents knew each other. Promo. Like, I don't think they're going there.
They don't have the balls, but that would be fucking break the internet. God damn it.
Yeah.
Vince would have done it.
I've got so much shit that I can say right now that I'm not going
I know. Don't make this a Patreon show.
I won't make it a Patreon show.
This is why we need to be on that other thing.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I've got a whole storyline.
I know you do.
That would break the internet. But so yeah, great Raw. I'm eager to tune in next week. I want to see what Truth's doing. I want to see this tournament progress. I mean, we got 2 pay-per-view quality 4-ways.
When is the King of the Ring or King and Queen of the Ring?
The finals are in Saudi.
No, I know, but when? What?
June 28th. Yeah, I think.
Okay, cool.
2 weeks from Saturday.
2 weeks from Saturday. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they said that on commentary, so we're moving fast into that.
No, that's why they probably have they're doing the 4-ways this year.
Yeah,
get the brackets down. That's smart.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, we've had some clusterfuck 3-ways, but I thought 2 good fatal 4-ways tonight that I thought were awesome. Again, if you didn't watch Raw yet, go out of your way. It's one of the better ones I've seen in a while. So we're gonna chuck the world outside WWE. We'll again not going to go match by match, but TNA Against All Odds. I figure talk about that first. And another great show. I mean, TNA has been killing it. Watching it, like, I can see Mance Warner potentially ending up in WWE at some point.
Another death match guy. Used to be around the scene.
Yeah, Mance Warner for sure. And I just like him. He's just an ass kicker. He's like he's full ass kicker.
I do. I like that he went to TNA. I think get to see him not just go. I don't know. There's something about I think that's the perfect spot for him right now to move to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're highlighting him pretty well. Steph DeLander being in his corner, I think he's a good act. Taking on Steve Macklin for the TNA International Championship. Macklin is the perfect example of what TNA can do for people because he, if you even remember, he was in the Forgotten Sons in WWE, which was kind of unfortunately just never got off the ground with Gunner and Wesley Blake. Good tag team, just it was one of those things. Gunner had his controversies and unfortunately it just kind of killed them. They were just there. Steve Macklin goes to TNA and shows like just how fucking good this guy was, and we never got to see it. He's a beast. He's gotten a lot of attention lately. I know I don't know if it's Tunnel to Towers or one of the big or one of the troop charities out there. I see him pop up in different ads. This feels like somebody that should possibly get another shot. But if it doesn't happen, you know what? Like, look what Moose has got a long-term TNA deal. He might always be TNA. And if that's the case for Macklin, hey, he's killing it. Really good opening match. We also had the System taking on the Hardys, Leon Slater, and hometown man, old school Cody Deaner. This was fun. Deaner was over in this gimmick. Of course, Eddie Edwards ended Deaner's career at Under Siege just recently. Told some good stories here. Leon doing a lot of the Hardys stuff, and shocking with the pinfall on Moose. So it looks like that's setting up an X Division title match. We also get recent not really recent at this point, but Mustafa Ali taking on Jason Hotch, again telling great stories with TNA. They had their faction that was on the rocks. I think Ali had a great match with Hotch. That German suplex off the turnbuckles to the apron, that was fucking painful looking. They did some really crazy stuff. Ali picking up the win. Again, TNA is just easy to watch. They tell good stories, great in-ring action. I like the randomness of the roster because it's just, you get all different styles. It's just, it works. They make it work. And we also, in the kickoff, we got the return of the now blonde Inspiration, the former Iconics in WWE. I do think they dropped the ball, particularly on Billie Piper.
I liked them, yeah.
Yeah. How did you not take advantage of that as an authority figure? I mean, she was just great. Not Billie Piper. What am I saying? The actress. But I couldn't remember her gimmick name in WWE, but she was great. I think they're going to be awesome in TNA. Now they're blonde, both looking beautiful as ever. And another good example, TNA Top Dollar, AJ Francis. Felt like he was dead in the water. He was just the guy that botched a dive and couldn't live it down in WWE, and now he's doing great stuff. We got probably the best match I've seen out of Lei Ying Lee in TNA against Masha Slamovich, who I'm not a huge fan of. Masha, she's pretty good in the ring. It's just she doesn't quite have that star power for me. But I think carried Lei Ying Lee to probably her best match. Lots of crazy stuff in that one.
She was like the GCW champion for a minute.
Yeah, we're stupid.
We'll talk about them later, but
we'll talk about them. And they seem to be telling a Joe Hendry losing his confidence kind of story, because Kazarian picking up a shock win over him. But it makes sense, supposedly his deal's up by the end of the year, and he should put over a few people on his way out.
I don't know if Kazarian's like the youngster you need to focus on, but it is what it is.
Hey, you know what though? Like, he can still go.
I like Kazarian. I got a little heat though, because he's no longer billing himself from Anaheim, but come on.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I can understand. I think he could be TNA for the rest of his career at this point, and that was great. We also get a tag title match with the Nemeths taking on the Rascals. It's good seeing old Dolph and his bro working together here, and that was fun. I Also, Santino Marella working his first like really proper match in a while with his daughter Ariana Grace in his corner, taking on Robert Stone with Tessa Blanchard and Victoria, the former Alicia Fox. This was actually a surprisingly good match. Santino was bumping, popping off snap suplexes. Lot of fun. I'd like to see Tessa kind of featured in some bigger stuff, but she has been, and I'm still hopeful that we'll get her in WWE at some point because I think she does deserve it. Santino winning here, a lot of fun, and I'm glad to see Santino can still work.
Do you know how he was able to retain his name?
I don't.
It's like more complicated than people like realize. Like WWE let it lapse. That happened. They let the trademark lapse. Scott D'Amore, when he was still in charge, he found that out, paid the money, licensed it to them. Technically, they may have done that, but WWE can still get it back. So they worked out a deal where so it went back to WWE, but they're allowing him to still use it. So
it's like I said, dude, I just think that TNA, we haven't gotten the announcement yet, but
yeah, but that was long before their working relationship, though. That was before. I think it was a goodwill move, like because he was using the name long before.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Like,
they're not losing money because TNA has Santino Marella.
No, of course not. Of course not. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, so it's an interesting story.
Yeah. I hadn't followed. I thought he was using a different name at one point, but our main event, TNA World Title, Trick Williams versus Elijah. I mean, if we're being honest, like Elijah was never winning the title here, so this is kind of just a match. It was decent. Mostly just setting up future stuff. I mean, I think they'll circle back with Joe Hendry getting that belt one last time before he becomes a full-time WWE guy. But overall, great show. Had a lot of fun. Which before we get to our GCW coverage, there was a random match. Now I didn't watch the whole show.
Oh yeah, I seldom finished it, but I got up to it.
So at
Battleground Pro Wrestling,
at BCW Original Sin, they booked a match against the Ultraviolent Beast, Masada, and Jinder Mahal, who was also using the Jinder Mahal name, which surprised me. So I don't know if there's some goodwill there. It was weird because that was the graphic when he came out, but they kept calling him by his real name on, I believe it's his real name, on commentary. So I was like, was this just what the WWE's probably not paying that close attention kind of move? Or
yeah, I didn't even catch that. I was just watching the match. I didn't catch the commentary. I wasn't focused on it at all. I was just watching what was going on.
Yeah, it was funny seeing Jinder dropping the F-bomb in his promo. And he did get a good line in. It's like, the greatest match in Philly history is the Punjabi prison. Fuck you all.
That was awesome. Like, I loved it, just the mic work portion. Just
yeah.
He had to be having fun doing that too.
Jinder, he is what he is in the ring, but yeah, I mean, he always was a great character. Kind of maybe not the best move putting the world title on him, but or at least for as long as they did, but yeah, fun promo.
Don't hinder Jinder. Come on.
Yeah, it really just, I mean, this match, is just a lot of Jinder kind of trying to neutralize any attempt to turn it into a hardcore match.
And he shit on deathmatch too.
Yeah.
None of that garbage wrestling.
Hey, I want to see a Jinder death match now.
Yeah, he pushed out as soon as the fucking the skewers came out. I get why people didn't like the match. I mean, if they all wanted Masada just to beat the shit out of and stick skewers in him. It was not that kind of match. It was
a story more than a match. I mean, they traded some arm drags, hip toss. Like it wasn't like, there wasn't much to the match itself, but if it's setting up something down the line that they have like the real match, it was fun. It was fun for the promo. I suggest you look at some clips at the very least. I mean, we love Masada, so
yeah, but if you want, and don't get me wrong, I would love to watch Masada just skewer the shit out of Jinder, but I didn't think that was the match we were getting. I was hoping for more of a finish than we got, but it was what it was. It was more of a story than anything.
it was that bringing the Bollywood boys like to come in there and take some of that, like just Masada destroying them in between. I'd like to see it. If they do it again, though, obviously, I think you have to actually deliver on the match. But all right. So we have GCW Tournament of Survival 10. Obviously, not the biggest GCW fan, but there was some good shit this weekend. We get a Zandig promo to kick it off. Mr. Danger taking on John Wayne Murdoch. Mr. Danger.
Shout out Jeff Anderson.
Shout out Jeff. He can do some cool shit. He needs to work on his presentation a little bit. I don't think he has a lot of, I don't know. There's something missing there aside from the fact that he can do these cool spots, which he certainly did some crazy shit in this. I mean the blockbuster spot. There was that springboard kick, the tubes into Murdoch's face. I thought that was cool. But I don't know. I mean, I like John Wayne Murdoch for the most part. I've always enjoyed his work.
Yeah, him and Mysterio should tag up and be the 187 boys.
There you go. Mr. Danger didn't really do it for me. He just felt like he's Timu Elix Skipper.
He's the deathmatch community is not a fan of him, but there's a whole Mr. Danger taking the name thing. But there's a whole thing with him. But he's a little guy. He does some deathmatch stuff. He was fine. He needs work, but I don't know. He gets some cool shit. I'm not going to take it away from him.
Yeah. No, he can take an ass whipping. So Murdoch getting the win there. Match number 2, we get Dr. Redacted. What up, Black Metal Werewolf? Everything is good. Good to see you here.
Shout out to Twitch.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was like looking for your comment. I was like, where? I'm not seeing it.
No, that's why I make sure to pull up a Twitch comment. Because
yes. Dr. Redacted versus Beastman versus Otis Koger. Beastman Shockmasters himself on the Rated ring.
That was fucking. Come on, where was the "you fucked up"? Where was the Shockmaster chance?
Dude,
too nice.
GCW fans, it's just all of both these guys. This is awesome.
They were a little more hostile the second night. They did a couple "you fucked up" chants at least. So
at the very least, I'm not going to say like there's never something cool in GCW as though it never happens. It's just, again, the overall package is just.
That's why I tend to just watch the big deathmatch shows. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because even though the last couple, I'll be honest, I haven't been thrilled with the last 2 tournament of survivals, but I did enjoy this one more, as we'll talk a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Redacted always brings the energy and the crazy here. Beastman was kind of having an off night after he shocked himself. He was a little gassed, I think, in the match. He did kind of botch a Frankensteiner, and
there's a few spots we were cringing while we were watching.
Oh, yeah, when he was going to the top ropes, when it was obvious he was just gassed at that point in the match, I was like, oh, fuck. I would have just been like, dude, let's take it home.
Yeah.
just I don't know, clothesline me or something. Like you're a big guy, it'll work. But Otis Kogar picks up the win. I mean, Beastman looks cool. I just think he was having an off night, probably.
Yeah, I'll see what he does next. I don't. Yeah, just off night, but yeah, should have gave him shit. I would have gave him shit.
I'm not as big of a fan of the Kogars personally
I
either.
like Otis. I'm not a fan of the other one.
Okay, not an Atticus guy.
No, he's just like a little guy. I don't know. I don't like his skinhead suspenders either. Yeah, I calls him like I sees him. That's what he dresses like.
Yeah, there you go. So match number 3, I believe they called this one a Tokyo Towers match. The Bev taking on Daiju Wakamatsu. Well, fun enough. I'm not, again, not a big Bev guy. He picked up the win here. I mean, solid death match. I don't have a lot to say about this one. I mean, I like Daiju from what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm not a huge Bev guy. I'm more of a West Coast guy, and a lot of the East Coast guys. There's a different style that I prefer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the predominant style now, but
yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's a shame, I think, but which brings us to one I do think we'll talk about a little bit because there was a surprise here: Matt Tremont versus Jimmy Lloyd versus Shotzi Blackheart. Again, Shotzi really kind of coming out hard in this. She got power bombed, taking a big spot through the glass. There's a weed whacker involved. She did some bleeding. Good to see Shotzi back in her element here.
You mean the indie element, not deathmatch?
Yes, indie element, I should say. But I was impressed with what she did. I mean, I'm not. Again, I make no bones about it. I'm not a fan of Shotzi going up against 400-pound Matt Tremont. Like that doesn't it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then she certainly took some stuff here that like that just should have been it. Intergender stuff, I've never been a fan unless it's for comedy.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the East Coast guys love it. I don't get it.
It's stupid. I love Shotzi. I'm not taking anything away from her, but just
I don't love her. I'm just talking about my issues with but I forgot what I was gonna say now because I had to say make sure you didn't come off that I love Shotzi too. She's
I like Shotzi. I do.
I know you do. You bought one of her shit picks, right?
No,
I don't know if she's gonna start selling them again, but
I'm gonna say she's past the shilling shit picks portion of her.
I bet McMahon's got one. Some
Vince McMahon absolutely has one. He just came up to her. So, I hear like you were selling some stuff on the side before we signed you.
Yes, and she retired from deathmatch wrestling immediately after the match.
That makes sense. I mean, she did take an ass kicking. It just, not my thing.
She said unless Nick Gage wants a match.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was joking, but some of the deathmatch people took it too harsh. Don't be calling out deathmatch. I don't think she was calling him out, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, some people make it work. I believe Mickey Knuckles could beat the shit out of just about anybody.
Yeah, there's exceptions to the rule, even with the intergender stuff.
There's not many,
but yeah, But Tremont Shotzi is not one of the ones I'm going to be like able to suspend my disbelief for.
Yeah, I agree. Our next match, Otis Cogar wins against John Wayne Murdoch. Then we get Tremont taking on Bev, which, of course, they have to suck each other off after the match. Tremont picking up the win there. There was less sucking off after every match, at least, but it's still there. It's still something dumb that I wish promoters would get them to stop doing it. It has no meaning anymore.
I agree, and I'm okay with it during a tournament because it is a tournament, and a tournament is a different kind of competition than just a death match where two guys should be. But they're not. That's the thing. Like death match wrestling now, it's not even about two guys who hate each other who like get pushed to this level that we're having this epic fight. It's just like it's a death match show, so everyone's having a death match. So it's hard with the sucking each other off.
If you're both
hands.
like in a team or in the same faction, whatever, that's fine. You're not teasing a split, but like it's just they just keep fucking doing it. It's
They didn't
so
overdo
stupid.
it this show, though. I didn't think. I'll give them that. They did it in this
Yeah.
match, so it wasn't
A
like.
couple times, but
Like I said, it was a tournament environment. I gave it a pass, and it didn't come off too annoying. But in general, I'm with you.
yeah. It just adds nothing, and
We get it. Y'all express each other. It's a brotherhood. Blah blah blah. But I want
hug
stories.
each other.
That's my problem.
Hug each other in the fucking back.
Yeah.
You know, your match speaks for itself. You don't have to, I don't know, jack each other off in the ring.
I want professional wrestling, not indie wrestling, and it comes off too indie to me.
I agree on that front. We get the Jeff Cannonball Hall of Fame. Of course, Jeff, I know Kruger speaks very highly of. He's a big fan and buddy of his. And this was, kudos for letting Blake Christian get the heat on him for his promo.
Yeah, that's pro wrestling.
That is pro wrestling. And Jeff Cannonball, of course, fighting ALS, seems to be just an awesome dude. And of course, we wish him the best.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. GCW put him in their Hall of Fame later this night. We're not really going to go deep in the Hall of Fame, but I'll give him props for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jeff deserves it. And he got to dick punch Blake Christian. He got to do a spot. So there you go.
You could see he was emotional about it. L2. It was a cool moment. Props
cool moment.
I'll give them their props.
I'll give GCW props.
That's it, though. That's all you're getting today.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I will give them props there for giving Jeff a moment, while also building up Blake Christian. So our final put Otis versus Tremont, cinder blocks filling the ring. Yeah, it was fine. There was some cool stuff. I like the visual of the cinder blocks in there and everything. It was a decent show. I guess
I was entertained. I haven't had deathmatch show in a few weeks, so it was nice.
Nothing really blew me away.
To me, this doesn't feel like the biggest tournament of the year, and this is the problem I normally have. See, the other weekends, the last 2 years that these shows have happened, I think 1 year there was an XPW show that was much better than theirs, and then both they might have gone head to head with XPW the past 2 times, and I know there's a lot of haters, but they put on better shows than GCW both times. But there was also, I think H2O was one weekend. There was just a lot of wrestling against them and a lot of deathmatch wrestling against them. This is the first time I've watched Tournament of Survival, and there's been no other deathmatch shows that I've watched to compare it to. Mm-hmm. So that may be also why I've enjoyed this show a lot more this year, because there was nothing to really compare it to, wise.
Yeah, it mixed bag. I'll just put it that way. But I did like some stuff.
But it's worth watching. And if you eat up GCW and their style of deathmatch, I think you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in your thoughts on the second show.
Well, I will say GCW Cage of Survival 4 opened up with probably my favorite match of at least GCW's portion of this week with Bear Bronson taking on Slade. Apparently Bear Bronson's first death match. There was some really nasty bleeding in this. That running power bomb on Slade through the door. They mixed some good wrestling in this with the death match.
And that's what I like. I agree. This was a great opener, and
it was better than anything on the previous night show.
Because they focused on the wrestling portion. I think that does a lot.
It does, and I thought the forklift coming into it, Bear hitting that snow plow off the lift through the tables was really cool. And, Sledge getting the win. I enjoyed this. This was my favorite GCW match. And, I'll call it out when it's good. Bear Bronson versus Slade was way better than anything else on that show. I would really look at using Bear more. Tremont, I respect what he's done. I feel like his best work is behind him, just being honest. Bear Bronson, I mean, fuck, dude looks like a beast. I really enjoyed this. It's the best thing they did all weekend in GCW. Our second match, Jamie Lynn Senegal taking on Charles Mason. I mean, again, I don't have a lot of interest in most of the intergender stuff that they do, but this sets up a match with Effie, and obviously I don't watch GCW all the time, so I can't really speak as much.
Yeah, so I didn't really care about this segment, really.
Yeah.
This was a storyline match. I mean, if you follow it, great, but yeah.
So match number 3 was a trios match with Jordan Oliver, Alec Price, and Charlie Tiger, I believe it was, taking on Team Terry. Decent enough action there. It was fun. Then we get to the JCW, which is a little confusing on this one because we had the Juggalo Championship Wrestling, but it was the Jersey Championship Wrestling World Title. Masha Slamovich taking on KJ Orso. Masha getting the win there. Again, was what it was. The problem with this show is they kind of peak in their opening match, so nothing really kind of lived up to that.
Especially when they're delivering the kind of match we'd really enjoy, and then you're going into this other stuff that's not our bag.
Yeah. But match number 4 brings the crazy in it. Dr. Redacted and Daiju Wakamatsu taking on Lil Sicko and Mr. Danger once again.
There we go.
Not into Mr. Danger at all, but again, credit for doing some crazy stuff. Dr. Redacted, as always, goes all out. That Lil Sicko moonsault with the tubes off the top of the ladder onto Redacted was pretty badass. And
didn't
again,
get to wear his IWA Deep South shirt, but that's okay.
No, I was yes, GC. Yeah, that would be.
Which I'm sure next weekend he's going to win that title. He's facing. I can't say his nickname anymore. The Beast, Bryant Woods. I think
passing of the torch moment. Yeah,
I have a feeling Sicko's going to get that. And then how are you going to deny IWA Deep South? Damn it.
There you go. But yeah, this one, it brought the crazy shit, and I had a nice time watching it for what it was. Just not that much into Mr. Danger. I thought Daiju Wakamatsu showed a lot of personality. He'd be somebody I wouldn't mind seeing elsewhere. Match number 5, dog collar match with Atticus Kogar and Joey Janela, Jelly Nutella, whatever he goes by these days. And they crucify him. I don't know if that's supposed to be symbolic of anything. I know Janela's got a lot of controversy right now. But yeah, I'm not. Atticus is a weird one for me too, because like there might be a little potential there. I don't quite get the love for him.
You know how you feel about him is how I feel about Adam Cole. They're like the same to me. I just don't get it. Either of their fandoms. They're little guys who I don't believe what they can half the shit they do.
Adam Cole's a much better worker, I think.
They're different kind of workers, but I'm saying I don't understand like each of their group's fandom. It's like the Kirks never got that either at all. Like I'll at least get it. Like Atticus seems cool, But I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't work for. I hate the fucking gimmick. I hate the way he dresses. It doesn't work for me. I'm just not a fan. Like I get he cuts a good promo, but then I see his tiny ass in the ring and I don't care. Maybe because I'm a giant and I'm sizist. I don't know, but
You are very sizist, and there are some scenarios. I mean, again, when you see
to me,
somebody
okay, it's like the intergender thing. It's the same. Like I don't
No.
see the little guy, Atticus versus like a Tremont. It's like I look at that and I go, well, why do I even? Yeah, it's a believability thing. I'm sorry, little guys. I mean, it is what it is.
There's something about Kogar that doesn't really connect for me.
And that's fine.
I
If
don't
he
know.
connects with you, good. I just don't get mad at me for
Somebody, I can't remember, just some random person on Twitter a while back compared him like to Messiah. And I was like, man, I don't see that at all. Messiah had promos, the presence, like I don't see it. And I'm not gonna say I like again that I've watched every match that he's had or anything like that, but I have seen a decent bit, and I don't get like the whole like skin mask and everything. I'm like, that's really cool. If it was on somebody else, is kind of how I felt about it. Like it just, I don't know. He doesn't fully connect for me, but decent enough match. Match number 6, Team Juggalo Championship Wrestling taking on Team GCW, with GCW represented by Murdoch, Effie, Tremont, and Jimmy Lloyd taking on the JCW faction of Mickey, Knuckles, the Brothers of Construction, and the legendary Too Tough Tony. This was a funny match, a fun match and funny. Mickey doing her thing. There was I don't know if it was a threat or what. Like there's a lot of who's gonna blow who between Mickey and Effie. I don't know if it was just a game of cunnilingus chicken between the two, like who's gonna do it. I'm not an Effie guy either. Like again, and I don't hate him. I don't get it. He's just doing there's nothing special about him, and
he's no Angel. If you want to see Angel, you can see him next month at CCW Bleed for the Crown.
Absolutely. You can also see Kruger going up against Carnage. You want to talk about violence? That is gonna. I promise that is gonna be one for the ages. But we'll talk about that at the end. Yeah, this was a fun, crazy match. I mean, it went out into the streets, which right now I guess they probably knew the police were busy elsewhere. Wait, where was this taking place?
This was in the riverboat, Atlantic City.
Oh, never mind then.
But the cops did show up. I saw some of the videos on Deathmatch Elite of the cops showing up.
Yeah. Mickey was like spreading the cheeks to the passerby. So
I saw the King Chud Chad directing traffic too.
Willie Mack showed up. This was just a fun, crazy brawl. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, always good to see Willie Mack.
Yeah. Then we had Cage of Survival, the fourth time I believe they did it, with Miedo Extremo taking on Cyclope. This was okay. Like again, it's tough when you peak with your first match, because I thought that was much better. But Cyclope did some crazy stuff, that splash off the scaffold with the tubes. There was some no selling in here that I hate. Tubes in general have just gotten very lazy with some people, just no selling them back and forth. The match was fine. Like I said, couple crazy bumps, that power bomb on Cyclope through the doors. And of course they have to jack each other off at the end, which, I enjoyed this show more overall.
They're former teammates.
Yeah, I know. There's always a fucking reason, but kick them in the fucking balls and walk off.
But they didn't do it multiple times on both shows. So like that's when it's like too much. At least they did it once on they might have done it twice on the other one too, but they didn't overdo it. So whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that, I guess. But yeah, go out of your way to watch Bear Bronson versus Slade. That was their best match, I think, of this weekend. Riverman, I'm sorry. What is your favorite finishers? I've always liked the simple ones like Bradshaw's clothesline from hell. That is true. Like Sol Ruka right now. Yeah. Sol Ruka right now has the Soul Snatcher, which is awesome. But it's one of those things where to do it as your finish in every match doesn't quite work. You really do have to be able to just hit it quick, hit it from different angles. Hopefully you got some counters with it that you can pull out. Let's see. Favorite finish. Am I the only one?
I'm gonna go old school. I think we're having a sync issue. It feels like we're slightly out of sync.
Yeah,
I'm gonna exit and come blurry.
Back. I think it might be you.
Keep going. I'm gonna
go for it. You know what? I can't give you a favorite. I will say I do miss some old school stuff like the heart punch. I don't know if it's the most realistic thing in the world, but I always kind of enjoyed that. I thought somebody should bring that back right now. What up, Orc? Off the top rope, indeed. Orc is watching shit burn right now, but I appreciate you coming in to say hi, Orc. Talking some wrestling. I like that. I mean, obviously, the cutter has worked for a lot of people. I'd like to see more creative submission finishes in WWE. I feel like, it's a lot of like just choking people out now. And I think we could utilize some more cool submissions. But as a kid, I was always big into the camel clutch. I mean, nobody can tell me that wouldn't hurt like hell if you get a really just strong dude leaning back on you like that. But I agree, sometimes too fancy, it doesn't always work. But Soul Snatcher is fucking cool. I did enjoy a recent match where she did it off the top rope. That was pretty badass. Looking better.
Is our sync better?
It's a little better. You're a little choppy, but I think the sync's a little bit better.
Yeah,
I know
we're getting what's going on. Yeah, we are. I'll answer the question too. My answer to favorite finisher, I'm gonna go with Razor's Edge classic, but also Jake's DDT.
Oh. They kind of ruined that finish, though. Yeah, it's DDT.
They did, but even when Jake did it now, it just works.
I agree. I mean, you can get anything over if you just establish like that's it. Like there's some finishers nowadays, like Cena's attitude adjustment, where it's like it almost makes you look weak if he beats you with just hitting you with it once. Because we're in that era where it's just like finish, and they get really lazy with that in big matches. Yeah. So I think we've covered just about everything. If you guys got any questions in the chat before we bow out, I should tease, we got a special night tomorrow. We're going to be live with Flesh Wound Horror Live. Tuesday, we're going to be reviewing Dangerous Animals, the new shark film out there, The Ritual, Predator, Killer of Killers, and a bunch of other stuff. Tonight. Yeah, I got a couple things to watch tonight too. I'm a little behind, but I will finish. Check all that out. Also, what else do we got dropping, Todd?
Wednesday, another episode of your favorite now, Dan.
Gay he for Faggy.
There we go. Well, I can see our sync still not perfect, so I will say, I did have you can if you want to catch me this weekend in Aussie V, we'll be at 3PW live in La Mirada. I got a little promo I'm going to play real quick, so hopefully it plays in where it's not all choppy. But here we go, Commissioner D'Lo Brown.
You know, I just love being 3PWA commissioner. And I really love the fact that we do shows here at the UFC gym in La Mirada. You see, when you come here, you can relax, you can get fit, you can get in shape. But when you come see 3PWA, you're gonna get excited because we bring to you the best professional wrestling in all of Southern California. 3PWA. It don't get any better than that. I reckon.
There we go. You got Brock Lesnar on the card, Todd.
Yeah, no, that's a joke. If you guys didn't see, the 3PWA champion, the American Punk, was accidentally mistaken for Brock Lesnar at the TNA tapings a few weeks ago in Irvine.
Yeah, that was actually funny. People were like tweeting, and it's like, that's American Punk. That is not Brock Lesnar. But I guess from the right angle, he does kind of.
I will. Yeah, sorry. I know I'm trying to get it out. I know we're trying to wrap in our syncs a little weird, but I will say that this will be my first attempt at live streaming a show, so you might be able to watch it. So keep an eye out. If so, we'll post the link in Discord. I don't know the exact process yet, so hopefully that means the following week or the following month we'll be able to.
Yeah,
Dan, you want to put over this match?
I will put over this match since Todd's slightly out of sync here. So July 11th in Anaheim, California, Crimson Crown Wrestling presents Bleed for the Crown, and they've got a stacked card. But of course, we are going to see our own Michael Kruger taking on Carnage in the second ever Hellbound Body Bag match for the CCW Supreme Violence Championship. Now, if you are unfamiliar, this is only the second time that this match has happened. The first time, somewhat legendary. I mean, you have to seal your opponent in a body bag and light it on fire. This is not going to be pretty. It is going to be... I mean, I know what Kruger can do, and Carnage is one of those rare individuals that can actually match him in terms of just depravity and ultra violence. I know for a fact that these two are going to put on one for the ages. The blood's going to flow. The smell of burnt flesh is going to echo through Anaheim. This is going to be one for the ages. I do believe, Todd, it's 21 and up. Yeah, probably don't want the kids to see what Kruger's intending to do to Carnage, and I have no doubt vice versa. But yeah, July 11th, it's going to be special if you're in the Anaheim area, or if you're not, it's one you may want to travel to, because I think it's going to be awesome. I know Kruger wants that belt and Carnage wants to keep it, so they are going to fuck each other up and do some of the most awful, depraved shit. Carnage, you better be ready, because Kruger has been on one and he is coming to beat that fucking ass, man. Riverman, that's streaming. Yes.
Hopefully. No, well, hopefully. Don't wanna go. Everything will be decided after this weekend. If it will be streaming free or if it will be streaming on IWTV, I don't know. I know where they're leaning, but I think
Okay.
this weekend's test of the 3PWA show will be the deciding factor. So next week we'll have some kind of answer.
Okay, but it always pays, of course, to be in our Discord, which is free. Discord is free, and the link is in the description. You'll never miss a sale, a physical media sale, or food. We're on that. Horror movies, food, music. Our Discord is booming, so get on there if you're not. It's a lot of fun. That is free. Also, we appreciate your support. Patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures, where it all starts at just $1. We don't do the super chats, so we appreciate it, and we give you a lot on there for your money, for your hard-earned money. And once again, July 11th, I know that this is going to be a rough one. I think we'll all be watching through our fingers because, somebody's going to be lit on fire, sealed in a body bag, and the blood is going to flow in CCW. So check that out. Kruger going for that Supreme Violence Championship. And what else we got, Todd? I know we've got Necro Butcher on the show. And the whole card is looking amazing.
Definitely. I'm trying not to talk too much because the sync. So we can just wrap. I'll say goodnight now. Money's on the dresser. Dan.
All right, guys. Good night, and we will see you live tomorrow for Flesh Wound Horror Live. Thanks for hanging out with us. You guys have been awesome. And we'll see you tomorrow night and Wednesday. Good night.